All right, man, I got one for you today. You guys, check this out. All right. This will blow your mind, dude.
I'm ready.
What I'm going to tell you. What was your earliest childhood memory? How old were you? What comes to your mind right away?
Sneaking over to this little girl's house. No, I'm kidding.
I knew something when that pause came in. I was like, oh, this ought to be good.
I think it was a Green Bay Packers football uniform that I got when I was just a little fella, So.
Two. How did you become a Cowboy fan? You Green Bay Packer.
Well, Green Bay was king. Then
they were
the
good,
Cowboys. Yeah, they were.
Yeah, that's what. Do you know
Mark Starr, man?
Do you know Tom Landry got turned down for the Green Bay Packer job?
Is that right?
Yeah, and Lombardi got picked over him because they coached together in New York. We won't get into all that right now. What about you, Kevin E?
I don't know, man. That's a weird question, but I think I remember one time I got bit by a bunch of fire ants when I was still in diapers. That's got to be as far back as I can go.
Traumatic. Maybe that's
Ouch.
it. I know it, man. Well, you know what? My little grandbaby Hollis, she just like 2 days ago got up into some fire ants and got all over one of her feet and her hands, and she swole up. She had to go to the emergency room. They put the IV in her. They gave her steroid shots. Man, it was. I mean, you should have seen her on her back. I said, It looked like that they got all over her body, but it was just whelps, and she's allergic. So now we got a little EpiPen.
Wow.
Man, I wonder if she'll remember
That's scary
that.
stuff. Yeah, maybe it's trauma related.
Yeah. Well, I remember when we were in an apartment complex, and I didn't know that we were, and I snuck off across the street was a daycare center. I didn't really know the whole demographics or the location and that at the time, but my mom told me this, and I said, I remember going and checking out these kids at a daycare center. I remember wanting to be in there and checking them out, and I was like, how do you get in here? And I was walking around, and the next thing I remember as getting out of the police car, them handing me to my dad. And my dad had his General Motors britches on and his T-shirt, and he was barefooted. And then my mom said, there ain't no way you remember that. You were like barely 2 years old. So maybe that was traumatic, but I wasn't crying. I don't know. So
you were having fun, man.
Yeah, man, I was having a good time. I wanted to make a friend.
That's right.
That's what my granny told me. Goes,
That's impressive, though, man.
She said, Michael Ray, you never meet a stranger. And that's a good thing to do, guys. Never meet a stranger. Hey, welcome to the Inside Edge. This is Michael Ray Newman again. And, of course, you know Edwin Britt and the Monster Millennial. We are here from Texas, deep in the heart of Texas, and we're doing a little podcasting today, Life by Design. I don't know who does your personal development. Just make sure you get it from somewhere. Obviously, we got the best in the country. I'm here with Edwin Britt and myself, and we have been called the what? What we just were like nominated or something? We were named. That's what it was.
Yeah, named the most dynamic motivation duo in America. How about that?
Oh, wow. That's good, guys. So, I mean, Mindset of a Champion is our coaching curriculum. Edwin, you're coaching, 100 people now monthly? Or how you?
Yeah, I don't like them, but I coach them. I like them all. I'm kidding.
Edwin's been a huge difference in a lot of people's lives. I mean, I've been able to see him coach people that make, just getting started out, and people that are making seven figures, and it's Mindset of a Champion, our coaching platform, and our Mindset of a Champion is our curriculum that we have. You guys want to get involved? Go to edgeglobalinc.net, edgeglobalinc.net, and you can grab our little $7 a month, 52-week virtual coaching class. We also do national coaching calls every Wednesday. You guys can request to be a part of the Inside Edge. And we also obviously do our podcast, guys. So whether you're connecting with us on our YouTube channel, on any of our social platforms, welcome in. And remember, the number one thing of the secret sauce of this whole deal is making it about you, right? If you can't be the best version of you, you can't go take care of everybody else like you already are doing and wearing it out. So pour into yourself, take a deep breath, and let's have some fun. And when I saw you post something the other day,
yes.
And this dude, I know that you've talked about him a lot over the years. And he's like being inducted into the Hall of Fame or something. He's got the Hall of Famer or something.
Well, he's got a 40-year career.
Yeah.
He's just probably the most beloved coach, college coach. His name's Ruffin McNeil.
Ruffin McNeil.
Yeah, we go back a long time ago. Ruffin now is the associate head coach at North Carolina State University. He directly reports to Dave Doran, the head football coach there. They're going to have a phenomenal year this year, I believe. But he is, in his 40-year career, he's been all over the place. But he was at Texas Tech with Mike Leach. Mm-hmm. He was at Oklahoma.
Yep. Right.
He was at the University of Virginia. He's been the head coach at East Carolina. But more importantly, and you talk about this a lot, Michael, he meets you where you are, and you're always better when you're around him. But we talk about belief in ourselves and believing in our dreams and our talents and our passions. But so often you can hear all the good and one naysayer say something and it just derails you, right? And that happened to me. So I was fortunate enough. Ruffin and I grew up in the same hometown. Ruffin was older than me, went on to play, was a great high school star. He went on to become a great star at East Carolina University. And when he graduated, he knew he wanted to be a coach. And his first coaching gig was back at his alma mater, his high school. And I was the quarterback for that football team. But
I love this story, man.
Yeah, early in, man, I remember summer camp. And it was my turn, right? I was going to shine, and actually, I was a junior, so there was someone, above me, and the heir apparent, the senior, was going to be the guy. And when it was decided that I was going to get an opportunity to be the quarterback, the starting quarterback, somebody I really respected in the community made a comment, and they said, "You'll never win a game with Edwin Britt as your quarterback." And I actually heard that. I had left, and my parents lived across the street from the high school, and I had left and realized I'd left my key to get in my house. My parents were working, and I came back, and I overheard that in the coaching locker room. Well, Ruffin saw that, and he followed me out, and he said, "Hey, man," he said, "don't listen to that." He said, "You're going to be the best we've ever had here." In other words, he met me where I was, and he picked me up. And I had no way of knowing, he had no way of knowing that he was going to create this legacy for 40 years, right, of empowering and equipping young men. Not only as a football player, but as a human being. But he had such an impact on me, and, well, the rest, I guess, is history. I went on, I believed him, and I set every record that's ever been set there at Lumberton High School and still hold all the passing records 40 years later.
Fantastic.
But I've carried that lesson into my life, and I've done my very best to encourage others at all walks of life when I meet them, man. Believe in yourself. Believe in your potential, first of all. Believe in yourself. And believe in your mission. Attach yourself to something that's bigger than yourself, and it will empower you, it will equip you, it will encourage you to go take your shot, as we talked about in a previous podcast, Michael.
Yeah, you got to always take your shot, man. But it's awesome that when we've all had these people that pour into us, right? We've had these people that pick us up along the way, see us get knocked down, and they take the time to pick you up to do there. That's why you do believe in yourself, is because people like that. Because there's so many other people out there that, and believe me, when people cut you down, I hear people say stuff about our podcast, about the way I talk and everything else all the time. If I believed that, I would never even leave the house.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you should sit there.
It'd be popcorn and Netflix on the couch, right?
That's right, man. I don't even know my Netflix login. So it's just crazy. But you had somebody that believed in you, man, and he said, "Don't worry about that guy."
Yeah.
And that right there encouraged you just enough. Because think about the insecurity you would have as a junior. And for you to go out there and set those, man, believing in yourself, that's so paramount. Is what do you think about you? Because these other people that you have in your lifetime, you've let people say, this, you said this and that about you that are negative, bad things they've said about you. You carry that with you. Those people don't even remember they said that. They don't even care, right? They just said it out on a whim. I had somebody say the other day, "Oh man, your podcast is cheesy." And I was like, "Well, yeah, it is a little bit, but so am I."
That's right.
But if you make this about you and this podcast, and think about that, man, that dude is Mr. Ruffin McNeil's had a 40-year career, Oklahoma. He's been in every conference in collegiate level.
Yes, he has.
And but he started back there when he saw Edwin Britt. And to this day, he would take your call. He would see you.
Oh,
You've
absolutely.
been there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Still, they talk about the apple not falling far from the tree, and this isn't the case for everybody. Not everybody has this, but Ruffin's parents were educators. I played ball with his brother. When you instill the right values in people, then you are prepared to go be that encourager and that equipper and meet people where they are. And think about all the young men along the way that Ruffin has had an impact on who didn't have a father figure, and he was their surrogate father, right? But I will tell you, in knowing his journey, as we all have a journey, it is a journey, not a destination. He's experienced a lot of failure along the way, and over those 40 years, he's had to move his family around the country. He's probably coached at 15, 18 different places, right? Yeah. How bad do you want it? Mm-hmm. But it all starts with belief. And, Michael, if I could, one more quick thing that I did early.
Please.
That has become my calling card is I understood the value of self-esteem and believing in yourself, and I actually wrote a self-talk card for children, which we want to make available for our audience.
Absolutely,
right?
guys. We'll get the link in here, Kevin, if we can.
Yeah, and it's
YouTube,
just
you got it.
36 words that changed my life, and I wrote it. It was inspired by Zig Ziglar. I pulled off the highway and you fill in your name, was born to win. God and my family love me. I'm special and valuable and always respectful. Today I'll do my best with an attitude of gratitude. And the key there, those key words are, it equips you to have a positive self-esteem and a positive day and a positive mindset. You're speaking truth about yourself to yourself, right? But the second part of that is when I felt the inspiration to do it, I pulled off the highway and I wrote it right then. I didn't think, oh, that's a pretty good idea. I ought to try to do that at some point in the future. I did it right then. So when you get a good idea, when you've got something you think will help other people, do it then.
Man, when you help other people get what they want, what?
You can have everything in life you want.
And when you traveled the world speaking now and encouraging other people and picking people up, and it was those little encounters when you were younger that gave you the confidence to step out like that. And I'll tell you this, the number one thing that we get requested every time we speak somewhere, people are, and especially big public events and even private ones too, they come up and start tugging on Edwin's shirt tail saying, hey man, I want that self-taught card for my daughter, for my grandchild, for my son. Isn't that right?
It's actually traveled around the world. It's that somebody has that card in their bathroom or somewhere visible on the continent of Australia, Africa, Asia, North America, Europe. And hey, guys, I grew up in Lumberton, North Carolina, for goodness sakes. And you know, I mean, to come from where I am and have to know that I've had some little small impact on tens of thousands of people. What's your dream? What's your gift? Man, that's the thing, and it starts with believing in yourself and overcoming the naysayers.
Well, think about it, and I want you got to go. You can't just like tease it like that. Where did it really come from? Because I want you to go back and tell the story about you were traveling and you were, making hay and building your own career and everything else. So start, tell us about you have 3 beautiful daughters.
Well, thanks. So we got time for that?
Yeah,
sure.
Man,
Okay,
we got
good.
time. I want you to tell that.
Yeah.
Tell the story about the self-taught card. Who was it for? Where did it come from? And it was for children. It was for your children, and now it's been all over the world.
Yeah, my children, only my children. I was living what I thought was my dream job, national sales manager of a sports marketing company, worked with the National Football League and NASCAR and Michael Jordan, and as a former college athlete, I thought I had arrived, man. And Zig Ziglar was coming to the Charlotte Coliseum, and someone asked me, they said, hey, look, Edwin, Zig Ziglar's coming, and I'm ashamed of saying this, but I looked at him, and I was the national sales director, and I said, yeah, that's exactly what you guys need. We're coming, and we're going. But there, that day, I heard Zig speak not about success or not about being a better salesperson, but being a significant person, and it changed my life. And I wrote that card only thinking my 3 little girls. And I actually wrote it a little bit out of guilt, Michael, because I was on the road all the time and missing moments that my wife was capturing, and I used to bring them little Winnie the Pooh chairs and little trinkets and things like that. And this time when I pulled out that little card, I mean, at first they were a little disappointed, like, well, Dad,
bring us this time?
Where's the Winnie the Pooh chair?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we sat down, and there's that consistency. And every evening before bedtime, in addition to doing the prayers, we would read that card, and we'd put it under the pillow. The next day we'd read that card and put it under the pillow, read that card and put it under the pillow. And we did that. My youngest daughter at the time was only about 18 months old when I actually wrote the card, which has now been almost 20 years ago, 18 years ago. And I was about to board a flight for Chicago, Illinois, Kevin E. And, man, she came over and pulled on my pant leg. And you'll appreciate this as a new dad here real soon.
It's coming.
And she pulled on my pant leg, and I looked down and said, what is it, Claire Bear? And she said, Daddy, I'm born to win.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, those are the kind of memories you want to create, Kevin E.
Absolutely. And I'm having a daughter as well, so
There
that
you
hits
go,
home.
We got to get him one of those.
Dude, we got to get you a card.
Absolutely.
And I tell you, I stopped immediately and got her a card because, see, she didn't have one because, hey, she was 18 months old. She couldn't read.
Where's my card, Dad? Everybody else got one.
She was listening, though, man. You never know who's listening. I guess there's the moral of that story.
That's true, man. And here's the bottom line. My mission statement for every company that we've had, and including here, man, is something I learned from Mr. Ziegler also. You can have everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. Reach back down. Give back. When you see somebody struggling, help them out a little bit. It's not about a hand out either. This is important. It's about a hand up. And I'm all about that. People want to help themselves. Sometimes they need a little bit of direction. Edwin has coached, spoken to tens of thousands of people across the United States, guys. EdgeGlobalInc.com, EdgeGlobalInc.com. Reach out. connect, hang out with us, bring us in. We appreciate you guys coming in. And remember this, as you go through the rest of your day, you made this about you. You did wheels, skill, and refilled, made yourself better. You reset, restructured, refocused. Now you can relaunch your week. But if you can't think of any of that, can't remember it all, just be nice, like my granny used to tell me. People don't always remember what you say, but they always remember how you made them feel. Thanks a lot, E. I appreciate you.
My pleasure, brother.
See ya.